Okay. Hola, ¿me escuchas? Quiero saber si se me escucha. Sí, voy a estar leyendo poesía. Ok, se me escucha. Ok. Hola gente, hi everyone. Welcome to my life. Bienvenidos a mi libro. So, this is an assignment. Es una tarea de mi universidad, pero era electiva y yo elegí leer poesía para la gente. Entonces, voy a estar leyendo de este libro que se llama The Northern Anthology of Poetry. Es rentado. Voy a estar leyendo también de este libro, Emily Dickinson Selected Poems. I bought this book when I went to Topeka, and I love it. I love this book. And then I have some here on my laptop that I'm gonna be reading. And if you have any suggestions, you can put it in the chat and I'll just Google it and read it. Okay. So let's start. I have a little list of the poems I'm going to read from the book. So the first one, para los que no hablan inglés, no se preocupen, voy a leer poemas en español también. Okay. So, this one is called The Flea, and I love this one. It's pretty funny, so just hear it. Oh, by the way, this is by John Donne. The Flea by John Donne. Mark but this flea, and mark in this, how little that which thou deniest me is. It sucked me first, and now sucks thee. And in this flea our two bloods mingled be. Thou know'st that this cannot be said, a sin, nor shame, nor loss of maidenhead. Yet this enjoys before it woo, and pampered swells with one blood made for two. And this, alas, is more than we would do. Oh, stay 3 lives in one flea spare, where we almost, yea, more than married are. This flea is you and I, and this our marriage bed and marriage temple is. Though parents grudge and you were met, and cloistered in these living walls of jet, thou use make you apt to kill me. Let not to that self-murder added be, and sacrilege 3 sins in killing 3. Cruel and sudden hast thou since purpled thy nail in blood of innocence? Wherein could this flea guilty be, except in that drop which it sucked from thee? Yet thou triumphst and sayest that thou find'st not thyself nor me the weaker now. 'Tis true. Then learn how false fears be. Just so much honor, when thou yield'st to me, will waste as this flea's death took life from thee. Okay, so what do you think this poem is about? I want to listen to that. What do you think this poem is about? I'll tell you what it's actually about because I learned it in class, but can guess. En español, ¿de qué creen que se trata? Pueden adivinar si no saben inglés. A flea, really? It is about a flea, you're right. Okay. Love is a way to put it. Okay, so this poem is basically John Donne trying to convince a woman to have sex with him. So he's saying that the flea already sucked their blood and they're basically married and their DNA is basically already one. So why, might as well, right? Might as well fuck. That's what the poem is about. En español, el poeta dice que, que como la pulga ya les picó a ambos y su sangre ya está unida, ¿por qué no cogen nomás? Okay, so this is the first one, and this is probably gonna be the hardest one to understand, so I promise it gets easier. Okay, the next one is one of my favorites, actually. This is Jonathan Swift. Se llama Jonathan Swift. And it's called A Description of a City Shower. Okay. Are you ready? Careful observers may foretell the hour, by sure prognostics, when to dread a shower. While rain depends, the pensive gad gives o'er her frolics and pursues her tale no more. Returning home at night, you'll find a sink. Strike your offended sense with double stink. If you be wise, then go not far to dine. You'll spend in coach hire more than save in wine. A coming shower, your shooting corns presage. Old ashes throb, your hollow tooth will rage. Sauntering in coffee house is dolman seen. He damns the climate and complains of spleen. Meanwhile the south, rising with dabbled wings, a sable cloud athwart the welkin flings, that swilled more liquor than it could contain, and like a drunkard gives it up again. Brisk Susan whips her linen from the rope, while the first drizzling shower is born aslope. Such is that sprinkling which some careless queen flirts on you from her mop, but not so clean. You fly, invoke the gods, then turning, stop, to rail. She singing still whirls on her mop. Not yet the dust had shone the unequal strife, but aided by the wind, fought still for life. And wafted with its foe by violent gust, 'twas doubtful which was rain and which was dust. Ah, where must needy poet seek for aid, when dust and rain at once his coat invade? Sole coat, where dust cemented by the rain erects the nap and lifts a mingled stain. Now in contiguous drops the flood comes down, threatening with deluge, I don't know, this devoted town. To shops and crowds the daggled females fly, pretend to cheapen goods, but nothing buy. The Templar spruce, while every spouts a brooch, stays till 'tis fair, yet seems to call a coach. The tucked-up sempstress walks with hasty strides, while streams round down her oiled umbrella's sides. Here various kinds, by various fortunes led, commence acquaintance underneath a shed. Triumphant Tories and desponding Whigs forget their feuds and join to save their wigs. Boxed in a chair the beau impatient sits, while spouts run clattering o'er the roof by fits. And ever an anon with frightful din, the leather sounds, he trembles from within. So when Troy chairmen bore the wooden steed, pregnant with Greeks impatient to be freed, those bully Greeks who as the moderns do, instead of paying chairmen, run them through. Laocoon struck the outside with his spear, and each imprisoned hero quaked for fear. Now from all parts the swelling kennels flow, and bear their troops with them as they go. Filth of all hues and odors seem to tell what street they sail from by their sight and smell. They, as each torrent drives with rapid force, from Smithfield to St. Poulter's shape their course, and in huge confluence joined at Snow Hill Ridge, fall from the conduit prone to Holborn Bridge. Okay? So what do you think this one is about? Okay, let me tell you. So this is, I don't remember where he's from. He's from a big city. Maybe Philly. I don't know. But he's from a big city and he is describing the rain in that city. That everything becomes dirty and disgusting. And that people from all classes just come together to take shelter from the rain. It's basically saying people suck, this city sucks, everything sucks. Ok. Perdón la gente de español, ya voy a llegar a leer poemas en español. Alright. Let me choose another one. Ooh. By the way, this book has a shit ton of poems. I kind of like that. I rented it though, so I have to give it back, which is a shame. Okay. So this is by Lady Mary Wortley Montague. And this is a recipe to cure the vapors. First, I have to tell you what the vapors are. Let me find it. Okay. Vapors. A disorder supposed to be caused by exhalations within the organs of the body and characterized by depression, hypochondria, hysteria, and other nervous disorders. Synonymous with the malaise of spleen. So, basically, it means that when you're too horny as a woman, you go crazy. That's what the vapors mean. Yeah. Okay. Why will Delia thus retire and idly languish life away, while the sighing crowd admire? 'Tis too soon for hearthstone tea. All those dismal looks and fretting cannot Damon's life restore. Long ago the worms have to eat him. You can never see him more. Once again consult your toilet, in the glass your face review. So much weeping soon will spoil it, and no spring your charms renew. I, like you, was born a woman. Well, I know what vapors mean. The disease, alas, is common. Single, we have all the spleen. All the morals that they tell us, never cured the sorrow yet. Choose among the pretty fellows, one of honor, youth, and wit. Prithee hear him every morning, at the least an hour or two. Once again at night returning, I believe the dose will do. Oh, I love this poem. Okay. Is there anyone that speaks English here and want to comment on it? You know, this poem, by the way, is from 1748. So it's an old poem, and for an old poem, she's basically telling her friend, "Go get it, girl," and I love that. Yes, so it is about a woman's interest. She's talking to her friend Delia. Le está hablando a su amiga Delia because her husband died. Se murió su esposo. So basically, Lady Mary is telling her, "Girl, just go do it. You're gonna go crazy anyway. He's not gonna come back from your loyalty, so might as well do it." I feel a theme with the poems I chose, I'm afraid. Ok, básicamente se murió el esposo de Delia. Entonces Lady Mary le está diciendo, ¿sabes qué? Tu esposo está muerto, ya no va a volver. Para mí que vos te buscas un hombre que te guste, que sea honorable, joven e inteligente y te lo coma tembo pirecuéjale. Ese significa. Okay, let me go to the next one. Okay. Ooh, so these are actually two poems, and I analyzed them for one of my assignments because I really like them. Okay, so the first one is called The Little Boy Lost. Father, father, where are you going? Oh, do not walk so fast. Speak, father, speak to your little boy, or else I shall be lost. The night was dark, no father was there. The child was wet with dew. The mire was deep, and the child did weep, and away the vapor flew. Okay? So, the little boy lost is in the perspective of the boy at first, and then is a description, like basically he lost his dad in the vapor. And then the little boy found. The little boy lost in the lonely fen, laid by the wandering light, began to cry, but got ever nigh, appeared like his father in white. He kissed the child and by the hand led, and to his mother brought, who in sorrow pale through the lonely dale, her little boy weeping sought. Okay, what do you think these two are about? And how are they related? Para la gente en español les voy a estar explicando. Es el pequeño niño perdido y el pequeño niño encontrado. Sí, súper rebuscado. El primero habla de un nene que está con su papá y en algún momento se distrae en el camino y con la niebla le pierde a su papá. Y la segunda parte es que su papá le encuentra. Pero la verdad que me costó mucho entender así bien el significado al comienzo porque tenés que ver palabra por palabra. Miren mis notas. Look at my notes. I like really went ham on it. Okay. Come on, que alguien hable. Someone speak. I want to hear your opinions. In the meantime, I'm gonna look for the next one. Let me actually just make sure I'm in 4. Oh, got it. I'm gonna read Edgar Allan Poe next. Hope you like him. Oops, too far. Still too far. Almost there. Okay. This is pretty long. So, it's by Edgar Allan Poe called Annabel Lee. So here I go. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. She was a child, and I was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud by night, chilling my Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise but I see the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, and her tomb by the side of the sea. Okay.
That's very pretty.
It is a very pretty poem. It's a whole story. Okay. Do you think the last poem about the boy, should we just take it at face value? I actually made a whole close reading about it where the father is God.
It's a whole,
It's a whole thing. Okay. Oh, Michi, do you like Poe? Yes, his girlfriend died. Good job. I'm sorry. Okay. That one is one of my favorites. I really like Edgar Allan Poe. He's very musical with his poems.
But was it his girlfriend or was it just a crush he had?
Let me see if there's anything. I don't know. They said they loved each other.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. You ready for the next one? This is Emily Dickinson. I freaking love Emily Dickinson. I love her. I don't know why. There's just something about her poems that speak to me. So I'm going to read a few here, and then I'm going to read some other authors, and then I'm going to go back to Emily Dickinson, because why not? It's my life, haha. Okay. This, 260. Okay. This is very short, okay? This is short. I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. That advertise, you know? How dreary to be somebody. How public, like a frog. To tell one's name, the livelong June, to an admiring bog. Okay, so I read it with pauses because it's actually written with those pauses. Do you see it? It's like written with all those pauses. I love the way she writes. She's just... Okay, and then the next one is 372. So most of her poems weren't named. They were just... She just wrote them because she wrote so much. Okay. Hola gente que habla español. Ya voy a estar leyendo poemas en español, les prometo. Espérenme un ratito. Okay. This one is about death, by the way. And
she writes very existentially, right?
She does. She actually spent most of her life at home. She had, there's rumors she had agoraphobia, so she was afraid of the world, and her mind, I guess, was the only thing she could explore. She studied a lot, she read a lot, she did gardening, and I can tell she had struggles with mental health because a lot of her poems, I relate to them because I have mental health problems. And she just voices them so beautifully. Anyway. After great pain, a formal feeling comes. The nerves sit ceremonious, like tombs. The stiff heart questions, was it he that bore? And yesterday or centuries before? The feet, mechanical, go round a wooden way of ground or air or aught, regardless grown, a quartz contentment like a stone. This is the hour of lead, remembered if outlived, as freezing persons recollect the snow. First, chill, then stupor, then the letting go. Okay. Perdón. Okay, so I already said it's about death, but what do you think about it? Like, what do you think she means when talking about death in this poem?
Can it be depression?
Yeah.
She talks about going round and round.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the...
She feels trapped in circles, maybe?
She is. This is mourning. This is describing mourning. So the initial mourning where you feel like you're just going through the motions because your mind is so overwhelmed with the mourning that's why it says the feet mechanical go round. I imagine her like pacing back and forth trying to calm herself down. And then I like the last one when it says first chill, then stupor, then the letting go. I like that. Okay. No one's talking. That's so... That's fine. Okay. I lost my pen. So those are the two poems I'm going to read by Emily Dickinson for now. I'm going to read more, I promise. Okay. So this is, the next one I'm going to read is called Ars Poetica by Archibald MacLeish. Actually, I did the first assignment on the first two nursery rhymes, and I was gonna do it with this one initially, but then the other one I like better for the assignment, but this was a good poem. Okay. This was written in 1926. A poem should be palpable and mute as a globed fruit, dumb as old medallions to the thumb, silent as the sleeve-worn stone of casement ledges where the moss has grown. A poem should be wordless as the flight of birds. A poem should be motionless in time as the moon climbs, leaving as the moon releases, twig by twig, the night-entangled trees, leaving as the moon behind the winter leaves, memory by memory, the mind. A poem should be motionless in time as the moon climbs. A poem should be equal to not true. For all the history of grief, an empty doorway and a maple leaf. For love, the leaning grasses and two lights above the sea. A poem should not mean, but be. Okay, so this is metapoetic, es metapoético, which means it's a poem about poetry, es un poema de poesía. And she describes how a poem should be, that it should be transcending, basically, the material world. It should be nothing but talk to you. It shouldn't be factual, it should be emotional. So, I like this poem. What do you think about it? Tell me if you liked it or not. At least a thumbs up if you liked it. Okay, so this one is called, the next one. It is pretentious, but poetry is pretentious. Sorry, I love poetry, but poetry is pretentious. Algo una mariposa. Let me see if they actually mentioned a butterfly. It mentions birds. Pájaro lo que mencionó. No butterflies. ¿Verdad? I love meta things. They're the best. Okay, let me go. So this is called, the next one is called A Note to the Difficult One. And actually, I just did an assignment yesterday because I had to choose one of the poems in the book. And we had to choose one that spoke to us and that was important to us. So, no diga esa cosa, le tengo que mostrar a mi profesor. It's okay. Alright, so this is also metapoetic, at least in my interpretation. Según yo entendí también es metapoético este. It might be completely wrong, but that's what I interpreted. So, A Note to the Difficult One by W.S. Graham. This morning I am ready if you are, to hear you speaking in your new language. I think I am beginning to have nearly a way of writing down what it is I think you say. You enunciate very clearly, terrible words always just beyond me. I stand in my vocabulary looking out, through my window of fine water ready, to translate natural occurrences into something beyond any idea of pleasure. The wisps of April fly with light messages to the lonely. This morning, I am ready if you are, to speak. The early quick rains of spring are drenching the window glass. Here in my words looking out, I see your face speaking flying in a cloud, wanting to say something. Hi, Johnny. Okay, so I analyzed this one recently, so I actually can remember what it's about, or what I think it's about. So, Graham is known for always having a location and a theme to his poems. So, a location, a theme, and a time period, I think. So, this is very clearly spring morning. So, this is the morning. It seems to me like he was just looking out the window morning after morning. Speaking, flying. Speaking, hablando, flying, volando. So he was just looking out the window, seeing the spring, trying to find any inspiration, and he wasn't finding it. I feel like he is kind of expressing that nature is intellectually superior to him. And it's like, I know you're talking to me, but I can't understand what you're saying. And he finally got it. That's basically what the poem is. I really like this poem. I initially chose it for another reason. I thought it was like he was talking to someone. And it's like, Leia, I know you're difficult, but I'm trying to understand you. And I kind of liked that. But then I realized it wasn't about that. And I still liked it anyway. Because the springs in Paraguay, they're very rainy. And they're very... And the mornings are very rainy. And I can just imagine myself when I was also like with my notebook writing in the rain. Yeah, that's why I liked it a lot. Okay. Where's my pen again? Let's go to another one. Okay. I think we're done with this book. We are. Okay. So this is all for the Norton Anthology. Unless you want me to open like a random page and read a random poem later. But now I'm gonna go to Emily Dickinson again. My queen. Alright. So again, I bought this book in Topeka. It was $1. And it has 109 poems. 109 poems for $1. Come on, that's a good deal. Okay. So the first one doesn't have a name. So I just put a smiley face on it. Look. Look, do you see a smiley face? I put that in. Okay. The only ghost I ever saw was dressed in Mechlin. So, he wore no sandal on his foot and stepped like flakes of snow. His gait was soundless like the bird, but rapid like the roe. His fashions quaint, mosaic, or happily mistletoe. His conversation seldom, his laughter like the breeze that dies away in dimples among the pensive trees. Our interview was transient, of me himself was shy, and God forbid I look behind since that appalling day. It's not really motivating. So, I actually want to hear your opinions here. God damn it. So I wanna know, what do you think this one's about? Because I have actually never analyzed it, so maybe we can feed off each other. Do you think it's about an actual ghost, or what do you think the ghost represents?
Maybe, I don't know if this is very meta,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe her aspirations.
Maybe her aspirations, yeah. You know, she has a poem that I'm gonna read later that's called Ghosts, and I'm pretty sure she didn't put that title on it. I'm pretty sure it's just a book. But her ghosts are basically like her intrusive thoughts, her depression. Yeah. So maybe it talks about like, maybe it's referencing that like the first time I was ever alone with my thoughts. And she describes it here. Okay. Let me go to the next one. It's called The Battlefield. It's also by her. This is very short. Look, it's that one. Okay. It could be. Puede ser. Okay. The Battlefield. They dropped like flakes. They dropped like stars. Like petals from a rose, when suddenly across the June a wind with fingers goes. They perished in the seamless grass. No one could find the place, but God on his reapless list can summon every face. Okay, so this is obviously about a battlefield, right? But I'm pretty sure when I looked this up, she did a lot of poems. She wrote a lot of poems about the Civil War. And she didn't publish any, or like almost any of her work when she was alive. Most of her work was published after she died by her family. So people thought that she didn't care about the Civil War. But she like wrote a lot of poems about people, like soldiers there. Okay. What I like about this one, I actually can talk about this poem, is that the first part, it talks about soldiers dying in the battlefield. En español, lo que me gusta de la primera parte es que habla de los soldados muriendo en el campo de batalla, but she uses very soft comparisons, usa cosas suaves. They dropped like flakes, they dropped like stars, like petals from a rose. Le compara a flakes, como podría decir.
¿Qué?
Como a partículas, como estrellas, como pétalos de rosa.
Oh.
When suddenly across the June a wind with fingers goes. Es como que el viento así le echa a un pétalo de rosa, but it's actually people dying. And then they perish in the seamless grass. She like paints a picture of an endless field where the bodies are left to die there forever and only a cruel God knows who they are. Básicamente la segunda parte pinta una imagen de un campo infinito donde los soldados van a morir para que nunca más se sepa de ellos y solamente un Dios cruel es el que sabe quiénes son. Yeah, I like that idea, that death is insignificant. Because in war, a lot of the deaths seem to be insignificant. Like, they die and it's just part of it. It's like so many people die in war that it's like they don't care. And that's kind of the feeling she was conveying here. Thank you. I like your contribution. Okay. Last one by Emily Dickinson, I promise. And my favorite poem by her. This is my favorite poem by her. Este es mi poema favorito de ella. Y el último de ella que voy a leer. Se llama Ghosts, que ya mencioné antes. It's called Ghosts. It's not actually called Ghosts. It's called Ghosts in this book. One need not be a chamber to be haunted. One need not be a house. The brain has corridors surpassing material place. Far safer of a midnight meeting, eternal ghost, than an interior confronting that wider host. Far safer through a nabby gallop, the stones to chase, than moonless, one's own self-encounter in lonesome place. Ourself behind ourself concealed should startle most. Assassin hid in our apartment, be horror's least. The prudent carries a revolver, he bolts the door, overlooking a superior specter more near. Okay, so I absolutely adore this poem. She's basically saying that our minds are more haunted than any haunted house, any haunted chamber, because our repressed thoughts, she says, our self behind our self concealed, like our subconscious. And this is incredible because she wrote this before the concept of a subconscious or conscious or ego, everything was ever a thing. But she was living it, so she expressed it in the best way possible, and I think it's awesome. So she's saying that we're so worried about the threats we have outside of us, like we are very careful locking our house and taking care of ourselves, but so many people ignore all the demons and the ghosts in their own minds, and those are the most dangerous because you can't escape them. I know, it's so good.
I might have to read her now.
Ok, para la gente que solo habla español, este poema me gusta mucho porque claramente habla de salud mental. Ella dice que no necesita ser una casa, no necesita ser un objeto para estar embrujado, que tus propios pensamientos y tu subconsciente y lo que vos reprimís son mucho más peligrosos que cualquier amenaza de afuera, y la gente ignora sus pensamientos y deja que pase y se acumulen, y eso es mucho más peligroso que cualquier amenaza que puedes encontrar fuera de tu mente. This is my favorite poem by her. If one of my favorite poems ever too. I love Emily Dickinson, so if you ever want to read her, you have my recommendation. Hi, Alan. All right, let's read more poems. Okay, now we're going to the laptop. Woo! Please tell me you didn't turn off. No, he didn't. Okay. Like my stickers? Look at my stickers. All right. So this was a friend's recommendation. It's called We Lived Happily During the War by Ilya Kaminsky. Ilya Kaminsky. And when they bombed other people's houses, we protested, but not enough. We opposed them, but not enough. I was in my bed, around my bed. America was falling. Invisible house by invisible house by invisible house. I took a chair outside and watched the sun. In the 6th month of a disastrous reign in the house of money. In the street of money, in the city of money, in the country of money. Our great country of money, we, forgive us, lived happily during the war. Deal. Deal.
Oh my god. That's like a...
I love this. This is such a criticism to America. Oh my god.
like social commentary.
Okay, tell me, what do you think of this one?
What is it talking about?
What do you think it's talking about?
No, but this is we lived happily during the war. Is it a specific war or is it just?
Actually, I don't know. Let me look that up.
Yeah, that might give you some insight. But it's obviously a social commentary.
It's obviously a social commentary on American capitalism.
Yeah.
And I hate capitalism, so I like that.
No, it was very heartfelt.
Yeah.
And it speaks to while you're talking to him, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I like the alliteration. The alliteration makes it makes it harder and harder, and the message is just so good.
And I think that it speaks to there's no sensitivity regarding those, if we put it in our context.
Yeah.
Climate change and other issues, and health.
She was Russian.
No.
She was born in Odessa, former Soviet Union, in 1977, and then arrived in America in 1993. So I don't know what that means.
Maybe the Vietnam War.
I do not want to say yes or no because I don't know enough about history, unfortunately.
Okay.
But this is just written so beautifully. The pauses,
Mm-hmm.
We protested, but not enough. We opposed to them, but not enough. I like that. It's like the frustration is so clearly put there because I can hear her saying, we protested, but not enough. I like that. Thank you for that recommendation, Cam. He's not in live, by the way, but yeah. Okay. Now comes the poetry in Spanish, people. So people that don't understand English, get over here. Vamos a leer poesía en español. Okay. So most of these are a recommendation of a friend. Shout out Anna. So let me read them. This is called La Calle, the Street by Octavio Paz. Es una calle larga y silenciosa. Ando en tinieblas y tropiezo y caigo, y me levanto y piso con pies ciegos, las piedras mudas y las hojas secas. Y alguien detrás de mí también las pisa. Si me detengo, se detiene. Si corro, corre. Vuelvo el rostro, Nadie. Todo está oscuro y sin salida. Y doy vueltas y vueltas en esquinas que dan siempre a la calle, donde nadie me espera ni me sigue, donde yo sigo un hombre que tropieza y se levanta y dice al verme, nadie. Okay?
That one's very meta as well.
Right? So, Spanish speakers, what do you think it's about? ¿De qué piensan que se trata?
Tal vez él se refiere al again. Maybe it can be like una reflexión de él mismo.
I think it's that too. I also think it's about himself because it follows every move. Maybe his shadow.
Yeah, maybe again, if we bring out the subconscious.
He also paints a very eerie scenario because he's just walking at night, but he says it's a long and silent street. He is walking in the shadows and he trips and he falls and he gets back up. So it's like a horror movie kind of thing. But, oh, I like it. Okay. Al principio pensé que era qué. Sobre la vida. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
It could be, yeah.
De lo injusto que puedes llegar a.
Maybe the years are catching up to him and he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Pero que alguien le sigue. Okay. I'm gonna read another one. This is called Para que yo me llame Ángel González by Ángel González. So,
I love that.
For me to be called Ángel González by Ángel González. Para que yo me llame Ángel González, para que mi ser pese sobre el suelo, fue necesario un ancho espacio y un largo tiempo. Hombres de todo mar y toda tierra, fértiles vientres de mujer y cuerpos, y más cuerpos, fundiéndose incesantes en otro cuerpo nuevo. Solsticios y equinoccios alumbraron, con su cambiante luz, su vario cielo, el viaje milenario de mi carne, trepando por los siglos y los huesos, de su pasaje lento y doloroso, de su ida hasta el fin sobreviviendo, naufragios, aferrándose al último suspiro de los muertos. Yo no soy más que el resultado, el fruto, lo que queda, podrido entre los restos. Esto que veis aquí, tan solo esto, un escombro tenaz que se resiste a su ruina, que lucha contra el viento, que avanza por caminos que no llevan a ningún sitio. El éxito de todos los fracasos, la enloquecida fuerza del desaliento. Oh, new people, hello. Okay, so what do you think this one is about, people? It's very
The
carnal.
ancestry and the people who came before him.
Yeah.
Maybe is he Latino?
I don't know, Ángel González. Let's look him up. Let's look up Ángel González. Because he uses vosotros, so it's most likely that he's Spanish.
He spoke about people coming in boats and stuff, so maybe he's Spanish?
Spanish poet.
Spanish poet, okay.
So he's talking from the colonizer side.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he is talking about ancestry. Está hablando de sus ancestros, de cómo ellos hicieron ese journey, ese camino para que él sea quien es ahora.
Pero él creo que es una perspectiva en la sociedad también, porque él cree que, como dice, basura, escombro, podrido. O sea, cree que el resultado es un resultado nefasto, básicamente.
Trata sobre las situaciones y las personas que te hacen ser vos. Yeah. Talks about situations and people, everything that makes you you. Or makes him, because it's about himself. Okay. I like that. Okay. Let me read another one by him too. This one is called Me Basta Así. It's enough for me like this, right? Yeah, it's the same author. Si yo fuese Dios y tuviese el secreto, haría un ser exacto a ti. Lo probaría a la manera de los panaderos cuando prueban el pan, es decir, con la boca. Y si ese sabor fuese igual al tuyo, o sea, tu mismo olor y tu manera de sonreír y de guardar silencio y de estrechar mi mano estrictamente y de besarnos sin hacernos daño, de esto sí estoy seguro, pongo. Da tanta atención cuando te beso. Entonces, si yo fuese Dios, podría repetirte y repetirte, sin cansarme jamás del juego idéntico, sin desdeñar tampoco la que fuiste, por la que ibas a ser dentro de nada. Ya no sé si me explico, pero quiero aclarar que si yo fuese Dios, haría lo posible por ser Ángel González, para quererte tal como te quiero, para aguardar con calma, a que te crees tú misma cada día, a que sorprendas todas las mañanas la luz recién nacida con tu propia luz y corras la cortina impalpable que separa el sueño de la vida, resucitándome con tu palabra, Lázaro alegre, yo mojado todavía de sombras y pereza, sorprendido y absorto en la contemplación de todo aquello que, en unión de mí mismo, recuperas y salvas, mueves, dejas, abandonado, cuando luego callas. Escucho tu silencio, oigo constelaciones, existes, creo en ti, eres, me basta. And I want you to look at this one if you can. I really hope you can see it. Because he mentions constellations. Oh, come on. Come on. There you go. He mentions constellations and then he structures his poem like that. So I like that. So it's clearly basically a love note, in my opinion. He's saying if I was God and I had like the secrets, I would make someone just like you. And I would try my best to just be Ángel González, which is himself. I would try my best to be me, to love you just like I love you now. And watch you grow and watch you create yourself. What do you think, Buddy?
Well, like you said, it's a love letter, but at the same time, the notion of him being God is not more so he can have the power, but it's more so he can revive this experience with her over and over again.
Exactly.
It's almost like that not selfless, but a romantic act of like, I am so in love that I want to live this experience again and again and again with you.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think he's saying he wants to be God because he wants to control her or anything. It's just because he just loves her so much that if he had all the power in the world, he wouldn't change a thing. That's so beautiful. That's so pretty.
Like if he had all the power in the world, he will choose to be him because he's in love with her. Like, oh my god. That's so cute.
I love that.
That was crying.
Al autor le gusta su nombre, parece. Oh yeah, he seems to really like his own name. You're right. Okay. Let me read more. This is called Un puñado de tierra.
Oh, that's like
A handful of dirt by Eric Campos Cervera.
You chose this one?
No, Ana Pequeña. She recommended most of these to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Un puñado de tierra, de tu profunda latitud, de tu nivel de soledad perenne, de tu frente de greda, cargada de sollozos germinales. Un puñado de tierra, con el cariño simple de tus sales y su desamparada dulzura de raíces. Un puñado de tierra que lleve entre sus labios la sonrisa y la sangre de tus muertos. Un puñado de tierra para arrimar a su encendido número todo frío que viene del tiempo de morir, y algún resto de sombra de tu lenta arboleda, para que me custodie los párpados de sueño. Quise de ti tu noche de azahares, quise tu meridiano caliente y forestal. Quise los alimentos minerales que pueblan, los duros litorales de tu cuerpo enterrado. Y quise la madera de tu pecho. Eso quise de ti. Patria de mi alegría y de mi duelo. Eso quise de ti. Ahora estoy de nuevo desnudo, desnudo y desolado, sobre un acantilado de recuerdos, perdido entre recodos de tinieblas, desnudo y desolado. Lejos del firme símbolo de tu sangre, lejos. No tengo ya el remoto jazmín de tus estrellas, ni el asedio nocturno de tus selvas. Nada, ni tus días de guitarra y cuchillos, ni la desmemoriada claridad de tu cielo. Solo como una piedra o como un grito, te nombro, y cuando busco volver a la estatura de tu nombre, sé que la piedra es piedra y que el agua del río huye de tu abrumada cintura y que los pájaros usan el alto amparo del árbol, humillado, como un derrumbadero de su canto y sus alas. Pero así, caminando, bajo nubes distintas, sobre los fabricados perfiles de otros pueblos, de golpe te recobro. Por entre soledades invencibles, o por ciegos caminos de música y trigales, descubro que te extiendes largamente a mi lado, con tu martirizada corona y con tu limpio recuerdo de guarañas y naranjos. Estás en mí, caminas con mis pasos, hablas por mi garganta, te yergues en mi cal y mueres cuando muero cada noche. Estás en mí con todas tus banderas, con tus honestas manos labradoras y tu pequeña luna irremediable. Inevitablemente, con la puntual constancia de las constelaciones, vienen a mí, presentes y telúricas, tu caballera torrencial de lluvias, tu nostalgia marítimas y tu inmensa pesadumbre de llanuras sedientas. Me habitas y te habito, sumergido en tus llagas. Yo vigilo tu frente que muriendo amanece. Estoy en paz contigo, ni los cuervos ni el odio me pueden cercenar de tu cintura. Yo sé que estoy llevando tu raíz y tu suma sobre la cordillera de mis hombros. Un puñado de tierra, eso quise de ti y eso tengo de ti. Okay, so this is a Paraguayan author actually.
Let me get you.
Oh, yeah, this really reminds me of home, like, okay, Paraguayans. I know there's Paraguayans here. What do you think about Un Puñado de Tierra by Eric Campos Cervera? Hi, Ursino, what do you think about Un Puñado de Tierra de Eric Campos Cervera? Actually, I do wanna... No. Let me look it up.
He was in we did this on our second year.
Okay.
And basically he was in Spain. He was exiled.
Oh,
And
you're right.
Yeah, he couldn't get back home. So it's basically acknowledging he was homesick basically, and he acknowledged that he was missing his home country so much. But at the same time, he remembered that he is Paraguay because he is like again and bringing back all the other poetry. He is the result of everyone that came before him, and he is his country. He is, like I said, the salt, the water, the earth of Paraguay.
Did you hear that? If you didn't hear that, first I want to know if you heard it. Can someone tell me if that you heard that? Que alguien me diga si se escuchó eso. That's so beautiful. And I miss home so
I
much right now.
Oh my God, I was like crying a little bit.
Oh.
Para los que hablan en castellano, básicamente este autor estaba exiliado de Paraguay en la época de la dictadura, creo, y se fue a España. Este actor estaba extrañaba mucho el Paraguay, entonces hizo este poema, pero básicamente teniendo así una epifanía se dio cuenta de que si bien él extraña Paraguay, si bien él no podía estar en ese entonces en Paraguay, él se daba cuenta que él es el producto de todos sus ancestros y que él es el producto de toda la gente que vino.
Que Paraguay está en él.
Que Paraguay está en él y que él es la lengua, el castellano, el guaraní, perdón, y que, no sé, que eso es tipo lo que le da un poco de confort estando lejos de su tierra, que él es Paraguay y que todo lo que él tiene, todo lo que él añora está en él, básicamente.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's like amazing. And I'm like, I miss home.
I miss home too. Okay, so this one I chose myself. This is called El Puñal by René Ferrer.
Oh, I love her.
I love René Ferrer.
Yeah,
she is so dramatic and extra. That's the best.
Yeah, and her vocabulary.
I know. El poema Un puñado de tierra de Erip Campos Cervera. Erip, H-E-R-I-B. Erip Campos Cervera. Okay, so this is called El Puñal. Tengo en el pecho un puñal, empuñadura de besos, y cada noche tropiezo con su constancia brutal. Ya me suena natural. En el arcón de mi cuerpo, el trajín de mi silencio. Cuando la aurora consciente is not conscious, it's
Self-aware.
spoil.
What? La
De consentir.
Gives en este contexto.
Cuando la aurora consciente, al sueño convaleciente, el tajo de tu recuerdo. So this is about heartbreak.
Yeah. She's such a queen.
I know, she's so dramatic. She's describing heartbreak as like a dagger.
And a dying sunset.
A dagger on her chest, in a dying sunset that is natural to her. Like the pain feels like a knife in her chest, but she's so used to it. I'm going home soon. Anyway.
So basically.
And then el tajo de tu recuerdo. She's basically saying like.
Tajo means a part that was cut off.
Yeah.
So basically.
So like the missing chunk of your memory.
Yes.
Oh.
So
God, I love Renee.
And she alludes that she is used to the pain.
Yeah.
Because, maybe like a pessimistic outlook as well.
Está diciendo que ella está tan acostumbrada al dolor que ya le es natural, que ya está acostumbrada, que se siente como un puñal en su pecho, pero que ya le da igual.
A la vez como un atardecer, o sea, que es algo de todos los días, básicamente.
Sí. Okay. So I have one more poem to read, and this was recommended by Ale.
Oh.
Yeah, so hi Ale, you're here.
Te extrañamos.
We miss you so much. Okay. And Professor Connor Francis, she was your student, and she recommended this poem to me, so props to her. It's called So We'll Go No More A-Roving by Lord Byron. Lord Byron. Yes, Ferrer is a drama queen. Okay. So, we'll go no more a-roving, so late into the night. Though the heart be still as loving, and the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul wears out the breast. Sheath. Then it's probably sheath. No, it's sheath. And the soul wears out the breast, and the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself have rest. Great rhyme. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon. Wow. It's very circular. I like that. I like that it goes right back to where it started. Okay. Someone tell me, what do you think it's about? I'm gonna look it up in the meantime. I'm gonna try to guess first, but... What do you think it's about, Mati?
Can you, because it's Old English, I'm like kind of lost.
I get that.
but,
get that.
but yeah, most of the first poems I was like, but I think is it cyclical? Does it have to do with nature or something?
It says that proclaims. It's a farewell to youthful wildness.
Wow.
Yeah. So knowing that, let's look at it again. So we'll go no more. What is roving? I mean, I don't know what roving is. Sorry.
Is it a sport?
Constantly moving from one area or place to another.
Oh.
So we'll go no more a roving so late into the night.
Oh.
Though the heart be still as loving and the moon be still as bright. Wow. Okay, it's totally different.
It's totally different, yeah.
For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul wears out the breast, and the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself have rest. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a roving by the light of the moon.
That was beautiful.
Hi,
Okay,
Sammy.
now I get it. I get it now.
Yeah, now it makes more sense.
Yeah, so basically...
So it's like a
it's
farewell
like an ode.
to
It's like
to having fun and being young.
Tipo una oda a la juventud.
Yeah, it's an ode to youth. It's like, I'm not young anymore, I have to settle down. The world is just as the same as when I was wild and crazy and young. So he's basically feeling nostalgia, I guess.
That's very pretty.
I know. Once like you know the meaning is completely different.
Yeah.
The we of the poem pledged to stop partying all night long, but the pledge sounds wistful. Wow. All right. So that's the last one of the ones I have. So I'm gonna read one or two more. So the first two people that put a number in the chat, los primeros dos que pongan un número en el chat, I'm gonna read a poem from that page. Voy a leer un poema de esa página. And then the live is over. Come on, people. Voy a agarrar uno acá. Voy a agarrar uno acá. This one is how many pages long?
1,000 maybe.
It's way more than 1,000.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
3 or 30. Okay.
That is anticlimactic.
It-
Six.
It has 2,157 pages. 2,157 páginas tiene este libro. Así que elijan un número entre 1 y 2,000. Okay. 3 or 30. 3 or 30.
30.
30. Oh, okay. It starts in the... It's called 78. Okay. 78 para el otro libro. Here I'm going to read from page 30. This poem is called In Vain. Again, I'm pretty sure they put titles on most of these poems that were not supposed to have titles, so... I cannot live with you. It would be life. And life is over there, behind the shelf. The sexton keeps the key to, putting up. Or life, his porcelain, like a cup. Discarded of the housewife, quaint or broken. A newer Sevres pleases, old ones crack. I cannot die with you, for one must wait. To shut the other's gaze down, you could not. And could I stand by and see you freeze, without my right of frost, death's privilege? Nor could I rise with you, because your face would put out Jesus, that new grace. Glow plain and foreign on my homesick eye, except that you, then he, shone closer by. They judge us. How? For you served heaven, you know, or sought to. I could not. because you saturated sight, and I had no more eyes, for sordid excellence as paradise. And where you lost, I would be, though my name rang loudest on the heavenly fame. And where you saved, and I condemned not be, and I condemned to be, where you were not, that self were hell to me. So we must keep apart, you there, I here. With just the door ajar, the oceans are, and prayer, and that pale sustenance, despair. I think it's a breakup poem.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like,
She's
saying,
basically saying,
I cannot be with you because being with you will not be living.
So they're toxic.
Yeah. Come to find out, everything is toxic.
I cannot live with you, it would be life. And life is over there behind the shelf. It's pretty long also. Okay. Can you give me a higher page than 78? Because all the older poems are in the first pages. And I suck at reading them. So give me
How about 666?
Okay, 666.
Just for fancies.
How dare I? 666?
Just for fancies.
Oh, come on. 678. 670. 666. I'm not reading this. It's like pages.
Oh no.
Pages long. It is about a breakup. Good job. I'm gonna go to 1666. How about that? Huh?
I love that.
Huh?
Thank you.
It's called Harriet by Robert Lowell. A repeating fly, blueback, thumb thick, so gross. It seems apocalyptic in our house. Whams back and forth across the nursery bed, manned by a madhouse of stuffed animals. Not one a fighter. It is like a plane, dusting apple orchards or Arabs on the screen. One of the mighty, one of the helpless. It bumbles and bumps its brow on this and that, making a short, unhealthy life the shorter. I kill it, and another instance added to the horrifying mortmain of ephemera. Keys, drift, sea urchin shells. You pack rat off with joy. A dead fly swept under the carpet, wrinkling to fulfillment. Okay, so there's a few annotations. So Harriet is the poet's daughter, born January 4, 1945. So he wrote this to his daughter. And then Arabs on the screen. Likely a reference to the Six-Day War in June 1967 between Israel and Egypt. So when it says dusting apple orchards or Arabs on the screen. And then horrifying mortmain. Mortmain is a legal term, dead hand, referring to perpetual ownership. More generally, the influence of the past in the present. 555. Okay, so he's writing to his daughter. Let me read it again. A repeating fly, blueback, thumb thick, so gross. It seems apocalyptic in our house, whams back and forth across the nursery bed, manned by a madhouse of stuffed animals. Not one a fighter. It is like a plane dusting apple orchards or Arabs on the screen. One of the mighty, one of the helpless. It bumbles and bumps its brow on this and that, making a short, unhealthy life the shorter. I kill it, and another instance added to the horrifying mortmain of ephemera. Keys, drift, sea urchin shells, you pack right off with joy. A dead fly swept under the carpet, wrinkling to fulfillment. It seems to me like he's expressing that he is protecting her.
Yeah.
That he's always protecting her, but she doesn't notice. She prances around happily because her dad is there, so she doesn't have to worry about a thing. And yet he's frustrated, like, I have to take care of you because I care about you so much. And I like that he mentions a madhouse of stuffed animals, not one a fighter. He's basically saying you're surrounded by animals and things, but nothing can protect you. Somebody want to give their opinion? It's, oh my god, how long have I been reading poetry?
Like an hour.
Okay.
We're looking at like a 45 minutes then.
Okay. Because it's night now.
Yeah.
Alright, people. It was really nice. Fue muy divertido leerles poesía. Espero que les haya gustado. I hope you liked it. And I don't know if I'll ever do this again, but it was really, really fun. Alright. How the fuck do I end this?
Okay, so is it...
Do I just press the X?
Wait, I think so.
Okay.
Okay, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.